Hey, it's the champ, man. You're listening to Tarver's Take, the most informative take in boxing. And I'm here to break down the big, highly anticipated light heavyweight fight that's coming up February 1st, man, live from Las Vegas. It's David Benavidez versus David Morrell. We're talking about the Mexican assassin versus, I think, one of the most complete Cuban fighters we've seen in some time, David Morrell, man. Both of these guys, Morrell definitely had an extensive amateur background, man. That Cuban school is one of the best ever. Getting these guys ready to make that transition. Morrell jumped right off the porch, man. In his third fight, was able to secure a title shot against a really rarely unknown, a very unknown fighter. Didn't have a lot of accolades or anything like that coming in, but the guy in his third fight did take him the distance, and he's knocked out everybody else since then, other than the last fighter he's faced, one of my good guys, local guys, St. Pete, Hot Rod Kavashniks. He's a good contender, but never a champion, recognizable champion. He's won a couple regional belts, but know how to fight and has faced some credible guys. David Morrell pretty much had his way with Hot Rod, but Hot Rod was able to go the distance. He didn't have, I don't think he had him down bad at all, but just really, he knew he was out of his class. It was like two different class of fighters. I don't think Hot Rod was able to really land anything real effective on Morrell to cause him any pause, but it was a good fight by Morrell, but again, he hit him with everything but the kitchen sink, and he was still standing at the end of the fight. When I look at those two opponents and I look at David Benavidez, I just don't see how those two guys at any time would have lasted with David Benavidez. So I think in this fight, even though both of these guys coming in undefeated, I said it in the beginning, experience. I think experience will be the key. And when you look at experience, David Morrell's coming in here with only 11 fights. I just think for a fight of this magnitude, it just might be too soon for David Morrell. And I'm not saying that rules him out in this fight at all, but I'm just saying, the odds, the chances of, and so that's how we got to narrow it down. But this is going to be a close contest, until it's not. I just believe, man, the fighters that, David Benavidez has been in the ring with, the experience that they've had and the credibility that they brought to the table, I think he's better prepared for a big showdown like this. I think with 11 fights and with the caliber of competition, the caliber of opponents that David Morrell has faced, I think it's just leaps and bounds, from where David Benavidez is mentally, physically, and then with his ability. So, this is where I think the experience separates these fighters. I think David Morrell may have needed, one or two more real tests before he really, build the resolve to be able to handle a guy with the ability, the power, and then just with the what you would call confidence that a David Benavidez comes to the table with, man. It's going to be, I think Morrell's going to have to find that shot that really, not only drops, but, concuss. He got to knock David Benavidez out. And there's fighters you can make quit. I don't think neither one of these fighters you can make quit. Sometime you got to knock them out. And I think this is one of those type of fights where, in order to secure victory, in order to secure victory, one of these guys is going to have to end it with inside the distance, and I think when you look at, what they bring to the table, David Benavidez is going to have a little reach and size advantage. That's why he fights so tall and big. You feel me? This will be, I think, one of the, more gifted fighters that Benavidez has faced. I think David Morrell comes in with a lot of talent and you got, a guy that has a talent like both of these guys, and they rise to the occasion. It's the moment that really gets these guys up. And I think this is the type of fight that you can say is going to bring the best out of both of these guys, man. But again, I like, both of these guys are moving up, so they're not going to have to struggle to make weight. I think both of these guys come in at their best. And like I said, we can only have one winner. And I think at the end of the day, experience. Those guys like Caleb Plant, you feel me? Those type of fighters, that David Benavidez has faced. The light heavyweight that he moved up was very tough. You know what I mean? And he was able to, he didn't knock him out, but he was able to go the distance. And I think, when I look at this fight, this might be one of those fights that goes ebb and flow all the way through, man. You feel me? One guy having this moments, the other guy having this moments. We could possibly see, a knockdown or two, man. Yeah, I mean, it's a chance this fight go to the decision. I think if you're looking at who can stop who, I think David Benavidez with that body attack, if he can focus on that early and have some success, it really helps him down the stretch. Morrell, like I said before, really don't employ a real consistent body attack. I think most of that, he's head hunting. And I think when you look at making those transitions from amateur to pro, it's that sitting down on those punches and really having that body attack, knowing that you got time. This is not like the 3 minute, 3 round, 3 minutes. You got time to do the work. That's why I would, advise any fighter to invest in that body. And I think that's going to be important in this fight. If you see one of these guys landing clean, landing good downstairs, early on, look for that guy to have his, hand raised. It's going to be some, you're going to have to take chances a little time. Sometimes when you go to the body, you got to be conscious enough to know when you're in, safe quarters. You can't be in there with your hands down trying to rip to the body. Not with either one of these guys. Both of these guys are great counter punchers. You feel me? Morrell likes to press. I haven't seen him a lot on his back foot. We don't know if he can fight like that. You feel me? Going backwards or setting up that counter shot. So that I'm going to be looking forward to. We know David Benavidez can pretty much do it all. We've seen him, in tough fights with Andre. You know what I mean? These guys are good boxers, had power, bigger guys. You know what I mean? So, I think those guys prepped Benavidez for the fight to come. So, and for the winner goes the spoils. What happens next? Who for the winner? The winner gets a chance to really position himself for the Undisputed Championship, which will be, having later on in the year, Benavidez versus Bivol. And that was a contested fight. And I don't know, man, it's still a pick'em type of fight for me. I'll have that breakdown as we move closer to that fight. But to see one of these guys' hands raised and win the WBC Interim Light Heavyweight Championship, man, it sets them up for a real super fight. One that you can probably imagine that will be in Saudi Arabia during Riyadh season. That's the big stage that, most of these guys, all these guys want to really get on right now with everything that they're doing in the sport. So, to the winner goes the spoils and a chance to become undisputed champion by facing the winner of Artur Beterbiev and Bivol. So you don't want to miss this fight here, man, to see who gets to stamp their ticket and get a chance to be the best in the world. You know what I mean? Undoubtedly, become undisputed. So that's what's in store, man. So you don't want to miss, this fight February 1st, man. It's going to be one for the ages, man. And it's my old weight class. You feel me? In the light heavyweight division right now, man, it's stacked at the top, with the 4 names I just named, man. It's sort of like a round robin. I mean, we'll see what happens, man. But to the winner of this fight, they position themselves for the big super fight with Benavidez and the winner of Bivol and Benavidez. So I can't wait, man. I'm excited, and I know you are too. There you have it. You've been listening to Tarvis Take, the most informative take in boxing. Just remember where you heard it first. Until the next time, stay tapped in, and I'll talk to you then.